What's up, y'all? It's your boy Roscoe P, and some of my tales from overseas. Man, yo, drinks in Japan. Listen, a lot of my time in Japan, I had the opportunity of being around people and getting to know people, interacting with people, and I loved it. Um, and the two stories I told are just my interactions when there's alcohol involved and people are drinking a little bit. Those were very good interactions, fun interactions, and interesting interactions. Drinks in Japan Part 2. This video is kind of the opposite. I did have some interaction, thank God it wasn't many, of people that were just very, man, intoxicated, and they would say things and do things that you're just like, yo. Now, full disclaimer, everybody who has been around someone that's been drunk, we've all had the friend who has, got in a fight when they're drunk, or talked crazy to somebody else when they're drunk, or said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing. And we know that's just a universal prospect when people are drinking. It's not just solely Japanese people that do that. That could be any corner of any part of any country in the world. It depends on the person. For the most part, my interactions with Japanese people that have been drinking were fantastic. Fantastic. Um, I did have some bad interactions, and that's what this is what this story is. I'm going to share with you the other side of my interactions. Before I got to Japan, a friend of mine, very dear friend who lived in Japan, and he was talking about like how, you know, when Japanese people's after they drink, their inhibitions go down. You're going to see two sides. You're going to see a very jovial side where they'll talk to you and they want to get to know you, and they want you to get to know them, and it's interaction at its most pure and beautiful, right? And he said the second part of that is you might talk to people, and he was like, on the flip side, he was like, you'll see them, they drink too much, their inhibitions go down. You see the other side of it, they get their warrior spirit back, and they're like, like, and I'm like, so again, anybody in any country, in any neck of the woods, anywhere. And he starts laughing. He's like, yeah, yeah. And I really didn't understand what he had meant. And then I kind of got it when I got over here and kind of saw it. So to lay the foundation for this night, this was one of the weirdest interactions I had with a Japanese person who had been drinking. And ironically, I hadn't had anything. It was just like the reaction and everything that came along with it. Normally, you know, I'm 6'4", so Japanese people tend to leave me alone unless they've never seen. Unless you go out to the countryside and they've never seen a black person before, and sometimes that happens. And then they want to talk to you, they want to stare, and that's fine because I feel like sometimes it's just the interaction portion. Like, this is unfamiliar to me, and that's fine. I was so used to that at that point. But it takes a lot, I feel, for a Japanese person to really, without their inhibitions being lowered by alcohol, to really just go after somebody. And I don't mean that to say that they're not capable of it. I mean that to say that the society is very polite. People tend to mind their own business. Unless it's so egregious that they're like, yeah, you know what? Something's got to be said or something's got to be done. And that's few and far between in the cases that I've seen and that I've known while I was living there. Um, and fortunately for me, I had someone to kind of navigate me through that space. So we were, it was a beautiful evening in Tokyo, and we were playing basketball at one of the outdoor courts, and it was myself, and it was one of my very very good friends. His name is Ice, and we called him Ice because he was a cold dude on a basketball court, 6'8" dude, could play from 1 to 5, great player, and he was just a good dude. and we favored each other. We look similar, you know. And so he would go around and tell me I'm his brother. I go around and tell people he's my brother, you know. And he was just a great guide. Spoke fluent Japanese, married a Japanese woman, and he lived there. And so during this summer night, we would play basketball. I wouldn't go home a lot of the times because I was under the impression I was young, and I was like, you know, why am I going home? I'm living in another country. I might stay and reap all the benefits from it. And I did. And Ice and I never played professionally together, but we played on club teams. We played in like individual games, exhibition games together. Like that was my guy. And I knew his game, he knew my game. So we'd always play basketball. And one night we're playing. It's a summer night. And for those of you guys that have never had the opportunity to play basketball on a summer night, it is fantastic. It's probably the best thing on the planet. I love it. I loved it to this day, but I still loved it. So we played this game, and in Japan, trains stop after a certain time. Trains will not run past, I think it's like 12:30 or 1. So from 1 until 4:30, wherever you are is where you are. Either you can take a cab home, walk, or you're stuck, unless you have another mean of transportation. But the trains don't run, so, and mind you, it's like, it was like the second to last train or the last train, and I was like, man, I'm catching this train, bro. So we get dressed, and we're walking to the train station. And me, I understand train etiquette. Like, I've been around enough trains in my life to know that subways and everything else, to know that you don't block train doors. So I say that to say that when the train doors open, I got in the train, I moved to the side immediately. Immediately I moved to the side because I'm like, I already understand what this is. So I take my book bag off, I put it in front of me because I don't want to bump anybody behind me, and I'm kind of holding it. I take my iPod, and put in the headphones, put the headphones in, and I'm just listening to music, you know? And it's low enough so I could hear someone talking to me if they needed to, but it's up enough so I can hear the music. And maybe 2 stops in, the doors open, I kind of compress myself, like, let me, you know, and this guy gets on the train. And as soon as he gets on, I'm standing close enough to the door, I can smell the alcohol coming off. I'm like, wow. And I mean, like, I probably could have gotten drunk off the fumes, right? And this guy, he looks at me, and I kind of look at him, and then I kind of look down to see what song is next, and then he just he's all right, he starts yelling at me. And I'm like, what? And I'm looking around like, man, maybe I did something. And I'm trying to, like, in my mind, process everything that's been going on. Like, did I bump him? Did I, anything? So immediately, if I bumped him, I'm like, sumimasen, which means excuse me. And he's like, still yelling at me. So Ice is like, yo, Roscoe, come here, man. And Ice is sitting down. So he's beckons me over. I come over, I sit down. He's like, yo. I'm like, yo, Ice, is dude mad? Did I do something to him? Ice is like, bro, you don't know what he's saying to you. I'm like, now I want to know even more. Like, what is he saying? Like, what did I do? And Ice is like, you ain't do nothing, bro. Your man he's clearly drunk, yo, but he's just, I guess he having a moment or something. And I'm like, yo, Ice, what is he saying? I don't care. I just want to know just for reference standpoint. He's like, yo, you don't want to know, bro. He's going in. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, did I do anything? He's like, nah, you good. Ice is just telling me this. And the guy's still yelling at me. People, it's to a point where Japanese people looking up at him yelling at me at the train, but people that have been on the train know I didn't do nothing. I'm like, I didn't do nothing. So Ice is like, yo, chill out. Don't worry about it. Let him rock. I'm like, okay. I said, yo, as long as he don't touch me, he's good. I can't do that. And Ice starts laughing. He's like, yo, he's going in. I said, that's fine, bro. He's good to go as long as he doesn't touch me. And I starts laughing at this point. He's like, yo. And I'm like, yo, I'm cool. Again, as long as he don't touch me. And I think I was just putting it to the universe and willing it to happen because I hear my train stop. I'm like, all right, Ice, I'll catch you later. I dap him up. I get up to get off the train. And this dude, train doors open. They start to open, train slowing down, doors start to open. And the dude out of nowhere just tries to hit my arm, and he hits it hard, yo. Like it hurt. He hit my wrist because I was holding I had my book bag in front of me, and I had my iPod, and I'm like, yo, and to a point where he hit me so hard, the wire tangled around his arm, and I was like, what? And everything flashed, and I was just like, I saw red at that point because I was like, yo, I didn't do nothing to him. In my mind, all this is moving fast. I didn't do nothing to him, blah blah blah, and and I kind of took a step back and I Sparta kicked him I kicked him out of the train. I took a step back and I literally kicked him out of the train. And I mean, like, he went flying backwards onto the platform. And it was so hard that he didn't have a chance to untangle the wire. So when I kicked him, he took the wire with him to my iPod. And I don't mean to laugh, but it was just like, I didn't know what else to do at that point. I was like, yo, that's crazy that you would do that. I Sparta kicked him. So I, like, boom. And he flew backwards out of the train car and just sprawled out. Like, papers, I guess from work, were like, fell out. And he was just like, ah. He started getting mad. Train doors closed. And I could see him yelling at me still. And I'm like, at this point, I don't care. And I like went to the next train, stopped, and then I walked home from there because I was like, man, ain't no more trains coming back that way. I'm walking home. I'm walking. And so I ended up just walking home like, yo, I can't even believe that interaction happened. Like, what the? And I'm going through it in my mind. I'm like, yo, why did this dude even come at me like this? And I'm not proud of what I did then and there. But now that I think about it years later, I'm just like, yo, I would never do that now. But yeah, that was probably one of the more wild experiences I've had with somebody drinking in Japan and then confronting me. Yeah, man, it was terrible. If I ever saw that guy, man, listen, if you're the guy who I Sparta kicked out of the train door, I apologize. I'm sorry. Just please don't hit me. And that was that. So, yo, it's your boy Roscoe P. Another one of my tales from overseas. It's been a blast. Please like, subscribe, and share. More content to come. If you like these tales, please know that there's more coming. And all I ask is that you like, subscribe, and share with everybody you know. This has been your boy Roscoe P. I'm out with another one.